This video is going to show you how I am quitting ChatGPT using a biography prompt that I have adapted from Sabrina Romanov. I am migrating to DeepSeek instead because I was paying for ChatGPT and I want to stop paying for that. I've heard DeepSeek is cheaper. I also want to be able to use my tool in Hong Kong and China, and DeepSeek works seamlessly there. And I eventually want to build customer facing agents in DeepSeek. And apparently that's effective for sort of cost conscious, high volume businesses. This is what Sabrina Romanov, who is an AI and community building expert guru, says about using the biography prompt as part of cancelling out of ChatGPT. And in her case, was moving towards Claude. In my case, I'm moving towards DeepSeek. And that is to say to ChatGPT, write a complete and thorough biography about based on all our conversations, ask me clarifying questions, and anything you're uncertain about that's important and should be included. So I have gone ahead and done that in my own ChatGPT. I started up a new chat and copied and pasted that prompt and also edited for the fact that the bio is for training a new DeepSeek account where I eventually want to build AI agents to run as much of my business as possible with human oversight and approval involved. And it came out with quite a detailed biography, which I will pause the video here now and go through. So, working with the knowledge that DeepSeek is a text based tool, I will try and enrich my biography with as much colorful language to represent me as I can. And I encourage you to do that as well while you go through your biography. For me, I am going to leave out business projects that I've already dropped or things that are now irrelevant. And I'm going to copy and paste what my ChatGPT has spat out, put it in like a Word document or something and edit it. And then I am going to paste it into DeepSeek, probably in chunks. So I went ahead and copied what ChatGPT gave me as a short bio as well as an operating context for DeepSeek, and I copied and pasted it into here. I also added a sentence at the bottom where I told DeepSeek that I'm now going to copy my ChatGPT in sections and it needs to tell me what my maximum word count is. So it tells me it's roughly 5 to 7,000 English words. But before I start copying over my ChatGPT content, I need to decide whether to store this information passively, just context for future chats, or actively, meaning that DeepSeek's going to refer back to it explicitly before every major recommendation. For now, I'm going to choose passively and just use it to store information. And then the question number 2 was, what's my number 1 priority in the next 4 weeks? I'll answer that later. So I'm now going to copy and paste sections of my longer ChatGPT into here. So that was who am I, the short version. Okay, how my brain works. Yep, that's pretty explanatory about me. ADHD style brain. That's what they called me. I'm not saying I am or I am not, but I do like prioritizing, sequencing, reducing overwhelm. Who doesn't like that sort of stuff, right? Responding well to structure but not rigid corporate structure. I like frameworks that are warm, clear, visual, practical, copy paste ready. When I'm overwhelmed, don't give me a hug. Give me a small number of useful next steps, preferably with time estimates and suggested order. Yeah, that's great. So I will now copy that into DeepSeek, as well as say store bio passively. Here is how my brain works. Run. After the how my brain work prompt is run, my DeepSeek has now told me how they're going to engage with me by doing one small number of steps with a time estimate and so forth, being copy and paste ready, warm and visual, etc. But it also has a question: which of these four friction points should we prioritize in our first week together? And I will choose A, too many open loops, because that also fits in with the next chunk from my ChatGPT that I wanted to ask DeepSeek to have a knowledge about, which is what I prefer my AI to do for me. So, say A, too many open loops. Here is the next chunk from ChatGPT. And then send. After telling DeepSeek how I want AI to act for me, it's now asked me another question about prioritizing my open loops, which I'm actually going to ignore because I thought I was supposed to be passively copying and pasting the information. So the next chunk of information from ChatGPT is my tone preference, which I'm basically just going to copy and paste pretty much as is, because I do want my tone to be friendly, inclusive, fun, international, and spiritual and purpose driven, not too American salesy. I like that. So we can always refine it a bit later. So here's my next chunk. Press in go. Okay, so it's asked me again now what my one open loop is, and actually I will tell it that uh, my highest priority, leave that spelling error in there, is a trip with my mum in 2 weeks to Nepal, where my teacher's monastery is celebrating a grand opening. We leave on May 28th and today is May 13th. I will now copy my next chunk from the bio, which you are supposed to store passively. Spelling errors, but I'm sure it's okay. So my tone preference copy. Did I have that already? Oh, yeah, my tone preference is done already. So now my next business identity, which is quite long. So I'm going to stop the video here, clean it up a little bit, and then copy and paste it in. So I have spent some time copying and pasting my main business identities out of ChatGPT and into a Word document. And I've edited some of the things to make it more relevant to what I do now. So yes, I am Zada Lau, still a chartered accountant, also do business strategy, and the tools that I'm using at the moment, it's not a comprehensive list of them, but the main ones. I was in the past operating an Instagram account called Retreat Wing Woman. I wanted to help healers, meditation teachers, energy workers to run profitable, well-organized retreats, and I wanted to be a wing woman. But I was just learning about the industry, and what I realized, it is quite overcrowded. So I'm going back to my roots of what do I really want to do personally, spiritually, and that is to help other Buddhists flourish. So I'm going to transform Retreat Wing Woman into Medify.com. It's a name for a Buddhist directory or platform that I'm vibe coding at the moment in Base 44. Anyway, it's going to be a worldwide directory of Buddhist centers, independent teachers of Buddhism, be a bit like an Airbnb, be a puja facilitator. I've got all these ideas for it. For now, there's a summary that ChatGPT have written out for me. It's highlighted that I'm taking a 240-hour meditation teacher program. I have also been selling incenses imported from Nepal to centers here in Australia. I can also sell singing bowls, and where AI can help me in that particular part of my business. I was also involved in the past with an organization called Shebacks with my friend Shalyn there, where we were trying to sort of match women founders with women investors. Then we stopped working on that for the moment, and instead I'm going to turn the idea of community building into community building from Medify, the Buddhist directory website. So, past information, past themes, is that not relevant? I might cut that out. Again, where AI can help me. Okay, it's picked up that I'm doing the meditation courses and events that I want to sort of promote my Buddhist friends who have something to say or share. I also have a products business, a waterproof sheet business for toilet training kids, incontinent elderly, pets, whatnot. Relaunching that. And as well as wanting to be a luxury travel service, specializing in being a safe, discreet, reliable, always there friend for lonely holiday makers. Women might not feel safe traveling by themselves, or I knew of this woman in Italy who was a companion for a lady who was a little bit disabled, and she needed help sometimes but not help all the time. So actually this client's father hired this lady that I'm the Italian friend to just be his daughter's companion, as little or as much as she needed. So sometimes was helping with pushing wheelchair and sometimes not. And that is something that I'm doing. Actually, I'm going to be accompanying my mum on a trip to China soon. Copying and pasting my edited version of my business identities into ChatGPT now. Into DeepSeek now, where DeepSeek has remembered it will store passively. So that was copied from my Word doc and now pasted into DeepSeek, and I will run it. All right, paste my next ChatGPT chunk, which is about my current tech stack, and I will copy. Yes, they're mainly what I use. Xero for accounting, Shopify for e-commerce, Squarespace I'm not using anymore, so I will make sure to delete Squarespace from that. Google Sheets, contacts, list and planning. Yes. Google Forms. Yes. Gmail. Proton Mail. Apple Calendar. Basecamp for collaboration with past VAs and possibly future, but prefer deepseek integrated solution. Trello. Don't have any documentation tools apart from using this Teller at the moment. Canva, I have, yes. ChatGPT to quit. DeepSeek as replacement. Due to geography. Yeah, so they are my tools. I'll just run that. Please paste the next chunk, which is my working preference with AI. When helping me, AI should usually provide a clear summary, group sections, practical next steps, SOPs where useful, checklists, templates, options, prioritization, suggested time blocks, what to delegate, not so relevant at the moment. What needs my approval, definitely. What can be automated later, yes. So AI should not just answer the immediate question. It should also notice when something could become a repeatable system, template, checklist, or Asian workflow. Yes, absolutely. So let me copy and paste that into DeepSeek. What to delegate later. Yep. Running that prompt now. Okay. DeepSeek is ready for the next chunk. So we just keep going on copying and pasting each of the chunks that ChatGPT spat out at me. I'm going to stop the video here, but essentially it's just copying and pasting until I get to the end of my biography. So please do that on your end as well. The next chunk for me that I had to copy over was my AI agent vision, and this is an edited version of what ChatGPT had spat out so that, I know it's clean and relevant for where my business is at now. Things that I wanted to delete, I have deleted. So for me, possible agents can include inbox communication agent, virtual assistant task manager agent, turns my notes and instructions into clear tasks, deadlines and checklists. It can be a content agent that makes posts for my various brands and businesses, possibly new social media that I may enter into. I want it to be a finance and bookkeeping agent. I want it to be an event launch agent. I want it to be a customer relationship management and follow-up agent, as well as a Shopify and e-commerce and product sales agent, be a family and life admin agent. Just at the moment, which is what I'm doing, is migrating my tech. So I will now run that. And again, this is DeepSeek saying that it's going to store my information passively. reminding things that are time specific. I have more chunks to copy over, so I will do that next. The next chunk of the biography that ChatGPT generated for me was what my audiences may include. So that was just a copy and paste, and I will now run that as the next chunk of information that DeepSeek needs to know about me. DeepSeek saying I have too many audiences and I should narrow it into 3 primary audiences. I'll leave that for later, and instead I will copy the next chunk, which is family and personal contacts, which I think I can spare you on. I'll do that and then come back to do content and communication style. The next chunk from ChatGPT bio to copy over to DeepSeek was my content and communication style. And I've said I need witty replies, calm parenting messages, emotionally intelligent scripts, event invitations, social posts, business emails, sales pages, website copy, etc., etc. And when drafting for me, offer versions that are warm, sharper tone, concise, more premium version, and a Buddhist version, weaving in occasional language that are known to Vajrayana and Nyingma practitioners, as I really want to target Buddhists. I often like replies that are clever but not cruel, boundaried but not aggressive, warm but not weak. Useful output formats include headings, bullet points, checklists, standard operating procedures, tables were helpful, scripts, templates, copy and paste sections, step-by-step plans, other lists, instructions, prompts, long and short versions. Avoid overly dense paragraphs unless writing a formal biography or narrative, and send. Storing passively. The next chunk from my ChatGPT bio to copy over was my recurring goals, and these have been edited by me to delete what's no longer relevant and include what is now currently relevant, including launching and scaling my businesses, creating multiple streams of income, hosting paid events, building Metafy, supporting spiritual teachers, creating fun or useful causes and events, supporting women founders, documenting my AI learnings, eventually monetizing off my knowledge, building AI supported business systems, creating standard operating procedures for humans or AI agents, reducing overwhelm, organizing my workflow, improving cash flow, managing tax and bookkeeping, creating content consistently, meditating daily physical movement, supporting my children and family and friends' needs where possible, preparing for trips and trainings, develop offerings, building community around profit with purpose, helping others profit with purpose, and sell things that I love, like singing bowls and incense. So I'll run that now. The next thing that I copied over from my ChatGPT biography was how to help me build AI agents. That's relevant for me, it might not be relevant to what you want to do. So if you're not wanting to build agents, then you can skip this. But when I ask for automation or agents, don't just jump straight into code, but to help me define the business processes, understand the trigger, the input, the decisions and the output, at what point the human approves, the risks, tool stack, standard operating procedures, etc., etc. Saying that I want a prototype before automating, build simple systems first using the tech that I currently have. However, my aim is to bootstrap. Setting some boundaries and safety for automation as well. Do not suggest fully autonomous agents for sensitive areas without approval. Human approvals are required for a number of different activities, such as making payments, sending emails, lodging tax, contacting clients, publishing sensitive data or content, making medical claims, responding to family conflict, making commitments on my behalf, deleting data, sharing private information. Okay, so we're saying that human approval is needed for all of them. I might just say also plus any others which are uncertain must be asked to a human. It's just my catch-all. AI can draft, summarize, classify, prepare, and recommend. Humans approve. So I will run that. The second last chunk that ChatGPT has suggested I copy into DeepSeek was some personal development related topics, how to respond when I am overwhelmed. When I'm overwhelmed, DeepSeek is to respond with short grounding summaries, top 3 priorities, things that can wait, things that can be delegated, the next thing to do in the next 15 minutes, copy and paste messages or tasks, keep it easy. Do not give me a massive plan unless I ask for it. And then how to respond when I'm strategic, then give me models, options, positioning, segments, plans, analysis, structures, opportunities, systems, maps, strategy, next experiments. And then lastly, how to respond when I'm emotional. When I'm upset, do not dismiss my feelings, but also don't validate in a way that fuels drama. Add Vajrayana and or Nyingma Dharma, reminder of the four thoughts that turn the mind. Back to service to Buddhism. Help me separate what happened to how I feel, bringing that awareness into that difference, recognizing what I need, what is strategic, what not to send and do, where boundaries are needed, what action can wait, and what Buddhism or what Dharma is being practiced here. How wonderful is that run? And finally, the last chunk that ChatGPT suggested I copy and paste into DeepSeek is a DeepSeek operating instruction that when using this biography, DeepSeek should act as my long-term strategic AI partner, remembering that I'm building towards an AI-supported business operations, help me consolidate knowledge, turn conversation fragments into structured assets, help me build AI agents with human oversight, prioritize practical execution, respect my spiritual and ethical values, support my business without losing sight of my family and life context, make my work easier, not more complex, create outputs I can use immediately. The best AI response for me is usually one that helps me move from overwhelm to clarity, from idea to action, and from once-off tasks to reusable, repeatable systems. Send. Right, so DeepSeek has interpreted that correctly and said that we're now no further chunks are expected. We're now in active mode with DeepSeek as my long-term strategic AI partner, reminding me that my next time-sensitive priority is to finalize my Nepal trip with my mum. That's coming up in 15 days' time. And then it's got some questions that may cause friction at that trip that I need to pay attention to, such as making sure we're comfortable on the flight and logistics and whatnot. So I'm really, really happy with that. And next I will cancel ChatGPT. Before actually going to delete your ChatGPT, I would suggest just looking through everything one more time to make sure any pertinent chats or topics that haven't already been covered in the biography have been covered. And then if you're certain of that, or if you've already taken a backup and you're ready to proceed with cancelling your ChatGPT, go to the bottom left-hand corner, check on settings, and then under account, you go to delete account. Oops. Yep. So that is how you quit ChatGPT. I should also state that I haven't downloaded any files or images that I've previously uploaded into ChatGPT to upload into my DeepSeek yet, because I cannot be bothered and I don't know how to do that. So if that's something that's of concern to you, that you keep previous files that you've saved into ChatGPT or uploaded into ChatGPT, I suggest you look for someone else's video. But a reminder that this biography prompt is literally using a biography of what ChatGPT knew about you, edited by yourself, and then upload it into your new tool, which in my case is DeepSeek. If you found this useful, I would appreciate a like or a follow or a subscribe. I want to thank my teacher, Sabrina Romanov, AI guru. I also want to dedicate this work to the people out there who are spreading messages of love and light. May this be helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. Follow along with me at zadalau.com. I am building metafy.com, ETTAFI.com.